Hello there. I'm making this video because I just got done with a cool project to shorten the mast on my 1998 Grand Banks 46 Classic. As we all know, this trawler is about 23.5 feet high with the mast up. It's about 17.5 to the bimini if you lay down the whole thing, but laying down the whole mast and boom and radar and everything takes about 4 big guys. So there's no way my wife and I can travel around to do it ourselves. So I was sitting there and thinking, well, just above the spreader is about 20 feet. What if I could put a hinge there that I could just do by myself when I need to, right there above the spreader? The only issue is that the track for the rarely used sail is on the back side of the mast. So the best thing to do, as my friend Keith said, is have it tip forward instead of backwards. So I got turned on to this guy, Dennis, great engineer welder at Fab Weld Corp, and he drew up this thing in about 3 hours that would go on the front side of the mast. And I said, why don't we add a couple of antenna mounts for the GPS and Wi-Fi antenna up there, put a stop in it so that it won't open any more than about 90 degrees so it doesn't crush the radar when it goes forward, and voila, he water jetted this part out of it. So first things first, got to drag off the mast and the boom, get all the electronics taken out of it, take it home, sand it, prime it with zinc phosphate primer. I won't go through all that. There's a lot of places you can see how to paint masts. But anyway, test fit the hinge that Dennis made. He then welded it on and cut the mast in half, tapped out the fittings, and then gave it back to me, and we started to final paint it. Couple of coats of primer, white primer, the Interlux primer over the zinc primer, which you got to put on aluminum. And we use the roll and tip method for applying the primer and the top coat, and as you can see, it came out looking just beautiful. It looks for all the world like it was sprayed. So just to pause here a second, we did 2 coats of the zinc phosphate primer on the bare aluminum. You have to do that. 2 coats of the Interlux pre-coat primer, and then 2 coats of an Interlux bright side, one part polyurethane, tipped and rolled and tipped onto there, thinned about 10%. Also took the opportunity to get rid of these ugly downlights on the spreader bars by building myself a couple of LED strip lights, putting them in aluminum channels, and tacking those aluminum channels onto the back side of the spreader bar. So we ended up with downlights that look like that instead of the old days, and they're very cool. Anyway, got everything back to dockside, started to install the wires, got it put all back on the boat, and you can see up there, there's the hinge with my Wi-Fi and GPS antennas on it. Doesn't look too bad at all. I thought it would be a little more obtrusive, and it isn't. And here it is folded forward. Just set the boom down on the deck and fold the top 4 feet of the mast forward, a couple of nuts, and it couldn't be easier. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email or Dennis at Fab Weld Corp in Rochester, New York. Hope you enjoyed the video, and good luck to you.